Yo, so I'm not having a very fun time right now, not at all. So I'm trapped in a house that has a sickness that I don't know if I could say without YouTube plastering a fucking paragraph about my video with, but I think you all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Starts with a C, ends with a 9, you know. So I'm left absolutely no choice but to sit here and cook up in my lair until all the Christmas holiday festivities are over. But anyway, enough about my daily real life frustrations. Let's talk about the one good thing that's going on in my life right now. And that's fucking One Piece, of course. What else? And especially recently. In my opinion, it's better than it has ever been. The goddamn Egghead arc, it's a masterpiece, and we haven't even seen the end of it, but I still think it deserves that title regardless. It could end in the worst way possible, like Luffy and Saturn just kind of shake hands and, you know, go about their business, go their separate ways, and still be a 10 out of 10 arc. But to kind of commemorate the arc finally starting to get animated, and, you know, Wit doing a little reanimation remake, can't wait to see what the fuck Wit Egghead arc is like in 2067. I'm gonna go over everything that's happened in this video, just fucking skim through it, go through everything, just to put into perspective about how stupidly eventful this arc is, especially compared to the arcs of the past in One Piece. You know what I'm saying? So I think the start of Egghead is the second that Bonnie flies onto the ship. The shit before that is just post-Wano type of activity. So that's where I'm going to be starting. So we get the reintroduction of a supernova that we never really got a whole lot on. When was the last time something like that happened? Law, fucking Beige, Kid, of course. And two of those three play a huge fucking role in the story. Some more than others, I suppose. So obviously this was a sign of good things to come. Then just like 2 pages later, we get a bitch walking out of a fucking giant robot proclaiming that they are Vegapunk. Vegapunk. The name we have heard for 1,000 fucking chapters now. That Vegapunk. That immediately set the tone for the rest of the arc. This shit was gonna be the Vegapunk arc, and presumably the Kuma arc. We're gonna get into that later. And of course, everybody's favorite part of the arc happened shortly after. You know, everybody's running around, exploring Future Island, getting into a bunch of fucking shit, running amok. Everybody loves that. We also find out that Nami clone earlier that we saw isn't actually Vegapunk, and it's one of the 6 Vegapunk paths of pain, per se. So we still have yet to see the original Vegapunk at this point. You know, can't wait to see him. I bet he looks so cool and serious and badass, right? And boom, conflict happens. Oh shit. What kind of Kaido level threat do we have now? Oh, it's just Cypher Paul. Easy sweep, who really gives a fuck? Honestly, they just exist to show that Luffy and the squad are quite a bit stronger than what they used to be. And I guess that even the bum-ass villains of the past are also getting stronger. I mean, we've seen that with Crocodile now, and you know, all them. Not to say that Lucci's a bad character by any means, he's just weak as fuck. I mean, the motherfucker couldn't use hockey back in the day, what the fuck? Wait, moving on from that, we got a fucking bomb dropped on us that Kuma is the father of Bonnie, which is a pretty big-ass deal. A warlord having a grown-ass kid is pretty goddamn huge. Literally a page later, we find out that fucking Law and his squad are getting cooked by Blackbeard. Spoiler alert, he does. Sorry to shit on him here, we all fucking saw it coming. The squad gets new fits, Robin is looking absolutely wonderful as always. Some Straw Hats get into a little skerfuffle with the Seraphim Jinbei. Sanji fucking destroyed him later, 0 difficulty whatsoever, by the way. We get the reveal of a big-ass robot from 900 years ago who's just chilling on the island, pretty heavily insinuating that the civilization back then was way more technologically advanced. One of the Vegapunks start talking about Ohara, and that's where we get the reveal of Vegapunk. What the fuck is that? He's beautiful. Turns out that Dragon was boys with Vegapunk and everybody else at Ohara. The Giants took all the books and shit from Ohara, and goddamn Saul is still alive. Of course, who would have thought? I mean, obviously. We then get the reveal of current day Vegapunk, who's got that little apple satellite dish on his head. Bonnie does not fuck with Vegapunk, even in the slightest, because, I mean, he turned her dad into a mindless robot. Meanwhile, Kuma in Kamabaka Kingdom is going fucking berserk, and he teleports away to some location that we don't fucking know of at the time. Lucci shows up and flexes his awakened leopard zone to everybody. Whoa, just to get one shot by Gear 5 Luffy. Oh yeah, and a few more of the Seraphims pull up and give the boys some trouble down the road, forcing the Straw Hats and Cypher Pole to team up against them. Oh yeah, remember Kuma teleporting off? Well, he's in Marijuana now. And while all this is going on, there's a whole ass Among Us situation going on between the Vegapunks that we honestly don't really give a fuck about. At least I didn't. It's York, okay? We aren't talking about it ever again. After Kobe got captured by Blackbeard, Carp is pulling up to Hachinosu to come and save him. What a cool guy, right? He'll definitely make it out okay. While Bonnie was relentlessly beating Vegapunk's ass for turning her dad into a robot, she discovers a room with a big-ass paw bubble in it with all of Kuma's memories, and she of course runs straight into that shit and absorbs all of his fucking memories. Oh yeah, and Stussy of Cypherpole is a clone of Buckingham Stussy of the Rocks Pirates, who is still alive, and she's Whitebeard's baby daddy, in quotes. As a fun little surprise, St. J. Garcia of the Gorosei is pulling up to Egghead to take out Vegapunk because he's all pissy at him. Kizaru is also with him, by the way. Big News Morgans is spreading a bunch of bullshit about how Luffy's holding Vegapunk hostage, which is bad. Vivi is also with him, who is thought to be missing for a while. Fast forward a little bit, we go to Elbaf of all fucking places, and who's there? Goddamn Shanks and his little band of misfits and his bum-ass fucking fleet. And of course, Big Cock Kid is pulling up to Elbaf to find the man with a burn scar. Yeah, Shanks doesn't like that one bit. Here we go again. I'll just simplify it. Kid gets absolutely dicked on. Alright, moving on. We move to Hachinosu, where Kobe is being kept, and also we see Aokiji as a Blackbeard pirate for the first time. We see a shit ton of sword members trying to save Kobe, and it's pretty goddamn cool. I really like the guy with the big ass cap and the clay fruit. That's my favorite one. Garp flies in on his fucking ship and lets out the most ridiculous move I've ever seen in my entire life, omitted by just his fist. The fucking galaxy impact. It goes hard. Everybody loves it. Garp starts his fight with Aokiji, and he starts off pretty hot, you know, cooking his ass in the first quarter, you know. We found out that Law got away safely from Blackbeard, all thanks to Beppo of all people. Oh, and Buggy also proclaimed that he wants to be king of the pirates. Of course, Sabo made it home safely after being completely fucked by the Mother Flame and Lelouchia. We found out that Sabo saw quite a bit of shit, including King Cobra's death. And I gotta admit, King Cobra said that he's a fucking D. I can see it. He had a massive cock, talking shit right to the Gorosei's face and Eam. Also, that means that Vivi is not only a celestial dragon technically, but she's also a goddamn D. And we get a shit ton of lore in this situation, as well as the Eam appearance. We also get a little Eam name drop in here. Whoa. But it ended up being a little bit more than their appearance. This motherfucker would turn into a big ass blob, and he killed Cobra. Well, he, she, whatever the fuck. Along with all the Gorosei turning into their respective blobs. Next chapter, we learn all the names of the Gorosei and the reasoning behind the Lucia fucking erasure. Also a little Shanks daddy reveal in Garling at the end of that chapter. Back to the Garp versus Blackbeard pirates fight. It's not going too swell. Kobe finally does a fucking move, the Honesty Impact, as they leave the island, leaving Garp behind to be frozen by Aokiji. And now back to Egghead. Kizaru is flying into action, literally. He has a little bout with his little nephew, whatever you want to call him, Sentomaru, and then eventually Luffy. And that fight kind of ends in a draw, but it's a good fight. Then boom! Back to Marijois. Akainu pulls up to put a stop to Kuma's fucking rampaging. First time we've seen all three OG admirals in action since goddamn Marineford, like 800 chapters ago. And if you think shit wasn't going down already, think again. Fucking Saturn pulls up, being summoned by like a goddamn satanic ritual or some shit. Completely changes the tone of whatever the fuck is going on. We see his weird ass kaiju type of fruit, whatever kind of power he has, we still don't know. And since this was a little bit too big of a surprise, we gotta put that on the afterburner. We get set into the long-awaited Kuma flashback backstory, which ended up just being fucking great. I made a video on all of this already, but I'm gonna sum it up pretty quickly here. He went through some shit, alright? He's just a sweetheart, top 3 character in One Piece, at bare minimum. This is the best backstory in One Piece. He was at God Valley, that's where he got his fruit. He met Ginny, Bonnie's mom, and he met a Vonkod there. He saved a fuck ton of people by slapping them away from God Valley. Oh yeah, Garling was there. He lived a pretty big chunk of his life at Sorbet Kingdom with Ginny, and he was goddamn pastor, taking people's pain away and taking it on himself every weekend, being a saint. Shit goes down in Sorbet Kingdom, and the Revolutionary Army comes to save the day. This is where Ginny and Kuma join the Revolutionary Army. Ginny gets kidnapped by celestial dragons. She presumably gets impregnated by a celestial dragon, and the kid that they have is Bonnie. Ginny makes it back to Sorbet Kingdom to bring Bonnie there. Kuma raises Bonnie like she is his own daughter, but she has the same disease that killed her mom, Sapphire Skill. That's why Ginny's dead in the first place, and that's why they threw Ginny away. Kuma makes a deal with Saturn that they will cure her disease if they could pretty much experiment on him and kill him by taking away his humanity, basically. And yeah, that brings us to about now. So that was the most babbling I think I've ever done in my life, and after all of that, if you look at Egghead and be like, damn, that shit was fucking a snooze fest. That shit was boring. God damn, that shit sucks. I really prefer Dressrosa over this shit. I love fucking Whole Cake Island. I don't know what you're on. There is something happening other than the Among Us imposter shit. Some essential shit going on at all times. It's the fucking last saga. And if you don't like that, you're just stupid. I don't know what to tell you. You're wrong. But yeah, sub to my second channel. Bye.